So hi, one of the Good Nights podcast here with Fremont Pike. We're gonna ask them some questions today. I'm gonna start. So what inspired you guys to start the band, and what does the band name mean?
Well, I'll take the easy question. What does this band name mean? Fremont Pike is a road by my house. I drive past it a lot, and I said, "Wouldn't that be neat?" So I mean,
That'd
here
be
we
a
are now.
band name.
Wow.
Now it sounded cool. I mean, like Belmont's named after a street, so there's all that. And then
Like a lot of
I think we
other
started making
bands probably do that too.
yeah.
Like cities
I mean, there's
and all that.
Dude, I was in Florida last summer, and I drove past Ocean Avenue, and I finally got the song.
Oh my god.
it finally clicked. Why did we start making music?
We were in the Toledo area when I came down to just hang out for like overnight, and we were out at a couple of bars here and there, and I think there was a live band playing at one of the bars that we went to.
Yeah.
So we were just goofing off talking about like, oh, what if we started a band? That would be so cool. And then we just started spitballing a bunch of random names that we could name our band and the kind of music that we'd be making and all that. And just how cool it would be to just be that band that some stranger wanders into a bar or whatever, and you're just playing, and they're like, oh yeah, they sound pretty good. Just spur of the moment kind of thing. It was more so of a joke at first, and then we started talking about it, and one thing led to another.
I think it should be noted that the band we saw was like this atrocious cover band, and they were doing like some kind of 80s mashup, and
Typical bar band.
no, like everyone was being. I love a good bar band, and everyone was being super mean to them. And I think me and Dylan were the only two people that were like actually paying attention and like enjoying the show. Because Dylan got me into like going to shows and everything in the first place. And I was like, hey, we could probably stand up on stage and get called mean names.
Oh.
Get eggs
Don't
thrown
need a
at you.
stage for that to happen.
Sounds like the internet to me.
Well, see, that's why it's awesome that we started this band during a pandemic, because instead of people calling us mean names on stage, they can do it on the internet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So congratulations on your newest release, Fremont Pike 200 follower celebration.
That's why he shouldn't be in charge of anything.
Like, you did that?
Why the fuck? You're like, oh my god, we hit 200 followers on Twitter. We're gonna name our next EP about it.
Like,
Oh.
it's
That's a fuck. There's a lot of there's a lot of layers to peel back on that onion. We don't. Dylan, finish your drink. No one listens to us, so we were just stoked that we had 200 followers. No. That's not a bad thing. It's not like we haven't played a show. We barely released music. Like, we live in different states, so it's hard for us to like. It makes sense. But I accidentally went viral on Twitter, and
Here he goes.
I use that as a platform to get people to follow the band page. So like the situation, like like the Twisted Tea smack, like the dude who got domed in Ohio with a twisted tea because he's being a racist a-hole. Yeah, that one. So my cousin sent me a text message, and it was like a video of the tea smack, like remixed with Ants Marching In or whatever by Dave Matthews Band. And I was like, oh fuck, this is hysterical. I'm gonna post this to my Twitter because I want my friends to see it. And then I was hanging out with my girlfriend, and she's like, hey, check your phone. And I'm like, cool, I got some retweets. And I put my phone down and like paid attention to whatever I was doing. And then like 30 minutes later, she's like, check your phone. And it just did not stop going off, like hundreds and then thousands. And then now we're sitting somewhere in the millions. I think at the time, excuse me. I mean, yeah, it's crazy for a shit post, right? And I think at the time we were sitting at like 150 followers maybe, which was neat. And a lot of that was like friends, family, and like friends of friends. And I was like, I just commented on it, and I was like, hey, if you like this shit post, you should follow my band. And then we got like
So he
5 or
decided
6
to name
followers
a
afterwards.
release a shit post.
Well-
He titled a release.
Oh my god.
Shit
The
post.
Well,
serious band.
The craziest part of the story is I ended up changing my Twitter handle, like my personal, to like at Fremont Pike shitposter or whatever. And some random commenter DMs me and they're like, "Hey, your tweet made it into Newsweek." And I'm like, "What?"
Huh?
So I clicked the link. Yeah, no. So I clicked the link, and it's a Newsweek article that has like an explanation of what happened, and then like the first video on there is my tweet. So I don't know how much exposure Newsweek gets, but it was enough to get us to 200. So we were sitting on these 2 songs, a demo and a cover, and I've been itching to release them for some time. And I mean, saw an opportunity and jumped at it.
Wow.
Alright.
That's iconic.
So
That's iconic.
So how do you feel about the
So-
response to your 200 follower celebration special EP edition?
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm sincerely thankful for anybody who follows this pair of hot messes. No, I mean it's super cool to have like for us to make music together and then release it. I think that's the coolest thing. Obviously, our streams aren't in the double digits yet.
I got
But,
an
like, but it-
email on our band account, got an email that was like, "Hey, you had 7 listeners last week." And I'm like, that's cool.
Let's go!
Let's
Let's go!
go!
7 more than I expected. Let's go!
Yeah, so I'd like to use this platform to announce our 7 streams EP coming out next week.
Oh.
I would fucking crack up if you guys like hit double digit stream numbers and then drop a double single or something for it. Our 10 monthly listeners special.
Yes, man. So yeah, that's the story. That's how that happened.
Okay, all right.
Sick.
So since you said you already had these kind of like written, I just want to know your writing process in general. Tell me a little bit about that.
Throw shit to a wall and see what sticks.
Okay.
We share notes on the notes app as we're writing lyrics, or he'll call me, we'll be on the phone for like an hour or 2, or he'll text me riffs that he records on his phone. He's just like, "Hey, is this cool?" And I'm like, "That's super dope, bro." See if it becomes anything. And then we'll kind of piece things together here and there on the fly, or while we record any of those songs with our buddies Cody and Miles of other local Michigan band Fit the Bill. So
Solid.
So you guys both live in Michigan, right? But I don't know how big Michigan is. So do you guys you work together like apart, or do you guys come together to write your music?
So actually, I live in Ohio right now.
Okay.
Unfortunately, actually, I don't know where you guys are from, so I don't know if I can talk shit about Ohio in here.
Oh
Yes, you
no.
can.
Okay, all right, we're good. We're good. I'm among good people. No, yeah. So I live in Ohio for work right now. But I'm from Michigan. Me and Dylan went to high school together. Been best friends for like 10 years. So we make every opportunity we can to get together and like mostly kick it. And then a lot of times when we end up hanging out, like an idea that's kind of sitting in the recesses of our minds will kind of come out, or like on long car drives between each other's houses, we'll like talk about stuff, and it just kind of morphs itself into the product that you see. I hate the word writing process, because like I'm expecting it to be this calculated like step-by-step thing, and it's like I found it to be the hardest shit ever. So like people who have a serious catalog of songs, like hats off to you, because I have no fucking idea what I'm doing.
Aw.
Listen, even the bigger bands we've interviewed, they're like, yeah, we
Yeah.
just pretty much throw shit at a wall. Like, I sit down, I write a song, and if it sucks, I throw the paper at the wall or some shit and start over again.
Yeah.
So there is no formula to it.
Mhm.
yeah.
I would hope not. If anyone knows the formula though, let me know.
Definitely. So can you tell me where your headspace was while creating this EP? If you can remember. You said it was written.
Yeah, so
well
we
before.
had a song that we recorded March of last year,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
we had a demo for that. Mostly it just didn't get through the finalization of the producing process. And then the Springer or Andy rather, just goes in his basement and probably once a week sends me a Wonder Years cover. So he just had one that kind of sounded better than the rest of them. And he was like, hey, how about we just throw on this cover with the Skis demo and just throw it out there. And I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I wish you would have consulted me about what we were going to name it.
Nope, that was all me. That was
I
all
didn't hear
me.
about that at all until it happened. But yeah, it's just trying to keep out, a steady little bit of stream of music, something for anyone to listen to while we're still getting through a recording process and a little bit of a writing process too.
Okay. So
Yeah.
So what band or artist influence do you think you can hear the most just in your music? I'd assume the Wonder Years is a big one. You're wearing a free throw shirt. So I'm going to say those two are probably big ones.
Recently it's been a lot of the Wonder Years, especially like now that I'm in my mid-20s. I really have so I actually thought about this question a lot when I was driving to work today, and I classify like the pop punk like emo genre into like 3 different sects, right? And you guys know who like Finn McKenty is, like the punk rock MBA. Yeah, so yeah, me too. He's phenomenal.
How dare you?
He refers to like the early.
I want to talk to him so bad, man.
I sent him the 200 followers thing, just as a DM, like just as a one-off, and he got back to me. And he was like, "Oh, I like it. It's every milestone is cool." And I was like, "Fuck, I love you, man."
Yeah.
So he talks about like the earlier pop punk that's like boy bands with breakdowns. And then like the mid 2000s like pop punk renaissance, which is like the shouty lyrics about a girl and then whatever's happening now. So like for me, like really coming into the Wonder Years was like being in a stuck place between like that adolescent like immaturity of like the Blink-182s and the newfound like the mall pop punk. I sound really gatekeepy, but I'm not trying to be. And then like just like something like it like an artist's interpretation of pop punk, which is what I find the Wonder Years to be. It's Dan Campbell, one of the guys in the band, writing about like real life. Like he's writing about the death of his grandfather, or hitting his mid-20s and realizing, oh my God, what am I doing with my life? And that's definitely the headspace that I'm in now. I'm in a transition time, going between jobs and jumping into more school, so that really resonates with me, but in the same respect, like musically speaking, I am a complete sucker for that cheesy early 2000s like American Pie, punk rock, pop punk, whatever you want to call it. I love it. It's simplistic, it's easy for me to play, it's very easy to write. So I think one of the conversations that me and Dylan had early on was kind of taking a cross section of like serious lyrical content, not to sound too artsy fartsy, but like to take like to take like real stuff, not singing about like, no, this girl was mean to me, so I had pizza with my homies. Like taking like hey, I'm fucking sad and I feel inadequate, but then putting it under a catchy pop punk riff, which I'm sure every other pop punk band in the world has tried to accomplish. But this is, at least for me, our stab at doing this. And then I mean, I have a lot of influences. I grew up listening to a lot of like 80s and 90s country. I know it's super lame. But
you get to hear that
a lot of
quite
that.
a few of you get to hear that in quite a few of the guitar parts that he writes. You get to hear that and go, oh, that doesn't sound like something that I would hear on a Spotify playlist. That little bit of guitar part almost sounds like a little classic Rocky, I would say. From time to time, from what we have so far, at least.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm sitting. I don't know, Dylan's actually been he's been like my gateway drug to a lot of really good music. So he I would say, as far as like specific artist music influence, he's the man to ask. But like structurally, I just kind of talked that into a rabbit hole. But yeah, Dylan's the man for specific artists. Go.
Yeah, that's your cue. That's your cue.
That's a cue. I really don't try to go artist based because I just listen to a lot. I've been listening to almost solely bedroom pop for the last week.
Okay.
So I just I hear like different ways that like a pre-chorus is structured, or a hook, or a really cool like, outro to a song. And I'm like, instead of saying, hey, I like the way that this band sounds, let's emulate that. I'm like, how about, this lyrical topic, or, what if we wrote, this part of a song this way?
Okay.
Like he does a lot of the instrumentation because he knows like 5 different instruments.
Oh my God.
So I just take his knowledge and I try to more so play a almost like a director's role, perhaps.
Okay.
I was like, here's more of like a direction we should go in. I think this would be cool. And he's just, let me grab a guitar and see what happens. And then it happens.
Yeah, I think it's worth noting that like 99% of our lyrics in some way, shape, or form stem from Dylan's personal journals or notes. I'll hit him up like at least once a week and be like, yo, what's in your journal? Like hit me up, like spill your guts to me. And then I'll like just go do some stuff on a guitar and send it to him, and he'll be like, man, I love the Wonder Years, but come on, dude.
Oh my God.
That happened one time.
Listen.
Sounded like a B-side.
Listen, the Wonder Years are good, man.
It really did. Yeah.
They're great.
Solid.
I love them.
Me too. So this one's like super, super fast. Off the top of your head, I want you to describe your music for new listeners in 3 words.
Both of you have to do it.
Yep.
Dylan, you can take this one for
Of course.
the first go. Really, really fast. No pressure.
Ooh,
just get it out. Just first 3 words.
White boy garbage.
Fuck, you took mine. Pretentious, whiny bangers. Pretentious, whiny bangers.
Okay.
I think.
I can get down with that.
Mm-hmm.
So our next t-shirt design.
That's good.
So on that same train of thought, is there a certain feeling you want your listeners to have while listening through your discography?
Yeah. I want everyone to hear one of our songs and just go, okay. Mostly finish the song is what I'm getting to. Sorry. No, I mean
so,
every
you write something and you want people to obviously feel it and relate to it.
Yeah.
But at the same time, based upon what I think half of the music that we've written and the like 3 songs that Springer wrote and Andy wrote in like a 3-week span were after a very bad falling out of a relationship. So you almost hope that people don't relate to the music that you're writing.
Yeah.
So it's almost just being able to put something on and feel that sort of pain that somebody's trying to convey and be able to enjoy it without feeling sorry for them.
I think it's really cool when a lot of the songs that we've written, specifically those like 3, like I was going through some shit with like some family. Obviously the breakup happened. That was a super toxic thing to get out of. And then some other third thing happened that we wrote about. So what I really like is like ambiguity in a lot of songs where like it elicits an initial response like, oh, this is in a minor key, so it's sad, or this is in a major key and it's super fast, so it's happy. But I really like someone else's interpretation of like a poem or a book or an art. Like, so like, do I want anyone to feel a certain response? I would say no. But if like someone hit us up and was like, yo, I listened to Everyone I Know Who Skis is Dead, and it really made me think about my third grade teacher who was a fucking asshole to me. Like, that's cool. I want that to happen. Like, I want you to see like like yourself
For the
in
record, it won't.
the thingy. No, I'm totally not going to. But if I can accomplish that, I'm super cool with that.
Okay, that's really cool. I like that.
Thank you. Thank you.
So where do you guys see the band in the next 5 years, and are you working on any new projects?
We are currently writing mostly written now, trying to get through the, recording and production process for a full length.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're sitting at about 8 or 9 right now.
Solid.
Yeah.
So 5 years. I think that maybe we should just try and more so take a step at a time, especially since how young we are as a band, or career-wise, what a future does hold.
Mm-hmm.
It realistically, would I like to keep doing this 100%? But if we just put out a record and play a couple of shows on it and just wipe our hands, like, I'm cool with that too. It's just an awesome experience to be able to hang out with him and hang out with our other friends and just write music and bullshit.
Okay.
Yeah, honestly, that's exactly where I'm sitting at. No, I was up in Michigan for work, and I was staying at this hotel. So we actually wrote a song. He came over and like we had some drinks and like wrote a song together all in one night. And we actually talked about like the trajectory of Fremont Pike and like where we see this going. At this point, like we hadn't even had half the album written, nothing aside from like demos recorded. And I think we both decided that like it's just cool to have our names on something that we did. So like when we're fucking 50 and old and gross, we can look back on, our full length and be like, damn, that was cool. And like if it leads to something cool, if it doesn't, then we still did it,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like that view. It's good.
Thank you.
Of course, yeah.
So for the last couple questions, we're actually going to shift away from music and go straight to death row.
Boom.
So, if you're on death row, what would your last meal be? With a drink.
Boom again.
Okay, so there's a Mexican restaurant in Mount Clemens. It's a city, probably 20-minute drive from where I live right now in Michigan. And they have just a killer burrito that has just a glop of melted cheese on it.
Oh.
And it's delicious. I just grew up going there all the time, and I love it. And for a drink, I'm honestly gonna go out off of a 20-ounce sugar-free Red Bull.
Oh, all right.
For sure.
Perfectly on brand. Yeah. So there's this place called Basili's Pizza in Houghton Lake, Michigan. Hands down the best pizza you've ever had in your life. If you haven't been there, go. Like now, like stop talking to me and go. They have the best supreme pizza. Like you don't need meat, you don't need any of the accoutrements. You just need like whatever veggies they decide to throw on there. And I'm by no means a vegetarian, but that is like hands down my favorite thing in the world is Basili's Pizza from Houghton Lake. And then I would probably go with a power flavored Rip It. That's my favorite drink of all time. For those of you who don't know, Rip It is a 99-cent energy drink.
Okay.
It is significantly better in value and quality than any of your Monsters, Red Bulls, Full Throttles, or NOSes you can imagine. So in Michigan, it's $1.09, but in Ohio, the only good part of being in Ohio is they're 99 cents. So I'm just saying, world internet, drink Rip It.
Sponsored. All right.
He's working on it.
I wish. I'm working on it.
That'd be cool.
They won't return my DMs.
Oh, email them.
I actually made comments on my Facebook profile picture today because it's a picture of me and Dylan drinking Rippets.
Oh my
So I was
God.
like, "Are you fucking ducking me? Like, what?" About to hit him with a 3 a.m. you up text.
Literally, do it.
You up?
So if you could live in one fictional world for a week, where would you live?
Harry Potter. I love Harry Potter. I have a Harry Potter tattoo. I took the Pottermore thingy a million times. I'm a Gryffindor.
Gryffindor. Okay.
Do you have more to your question? Do you have more to your question? Did I cut you off? Because I got really excited.
Oh no, I was just gonna ask what house you are, but you already answered it.
Oh yeah. I got you. Yeah, dude. I am a fucking Harry Potter nerd. So that's easy answer.
It's a great, like I was about to say, it's a great show. Jesus Christ, it's a great movie series and it's a great book series. It's great. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I've been watching like all of the DC shows that are on CW.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna go with the CW DC universe. Superheroes are cool as fuck, and I just think that seeing that in real life, that'd be dope.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, but would you be a superhero or just like an innocent bystander?
Exactly.
I honestly, I feel like I could just be on like a crew, run some comms. You know what I mean?
Of course, yeah.
Just stowed away in the bunker.
Oh my God.
I always pictured you as like guy number one. You have guy number one vibes.
Guy number one vibes. Iconic.
Andy, you can eat shit. Calling me an
I love
extra.
you.
Oh my God.
I love you.
So,
Fucking goofball.
I have the honor of asking the last question, and every single person you've spoken to has said it's the most important question. What's your favorite color?
Red. Cherry red.
Ooh,
Solid.
taste. Good.
I'm gonna sound really basic and say blue.
Ooh.
Yeah, no specific blue. I'm really drawn to any shade of blue. That's just like, this is gonna sound lame, but my vape is blue. These folders next to me are blue. These needles for my college class are blue. Like even the fucking heading for this lab sheet is blue. So like I'm surrounded by it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Blue.
Solid.
Solid.
So as I said, that's all the questions you have today. Is there anything that you would like to plug?
Well, let's see. We already got the Ripit sponsorship out of the way. Made an ass of myself. Listen to our music. Follow us on Twitter. And I don't know, say nice things. This was fun. The last podcast we did turned into a complete shit show, so I'm glad this one was really succinct.
It was
good.
fun though.
It was a lot of fun.
Just keep a lookout, I'd say, for some music that we're releasing, because we have only two completely done songs that we put on a split with our buddies and Fit the Bill last year. So we have more coming. We have one of those songs being redone because they had some new recording software and all that, trying to get a better sound. And I truly do believe that we're writing and creating good music, especially at an early stage like we are. So I'm stoked on it and excited to see what everybody thinks, as long as, you know, we can get above that 7 listener a week little bar that we have set right now. I just like to be able to reach some more people.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad this one didn't devolve into chaos, because typically our 10 p.m. ones just absolutely go to shit. So thank you for sitting down with us, guys. It's been Fremont Pike, and we're the Good Noise Podcast.